What's going on, Eagles fans? As you guys can see, it's a new year, a new look for us. I'm here with my guy, Philly Foothills from the Nest Out West. I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports Philly, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got charges to the game. But Foothills, like we've been discussing, like we've been building in the background, we have officially named this podcast. We do this weekly pregame thing, and the chemistry is great. The chemistry is electric. You and I, we just go blow for blow in this Eagles content game. And, kudos to you for extending that olive branch to me and say, look, man, like we got a good thing going. We got to name this thing. So,
Absolutely.
my man, without further ado, why don't you introduce the name of the podcast?
What's good? What's going on, everybody? Happy New Year to all the subscribers out there of not only Birds of a Feather. Well, that's what it's going to be called, you guys. It's going to be called Birds of a Feather Podcast. This is the new name for the podcast. We're going to rock with it. And yes, we're very excited about, the future and everything that holds for us. And we're very appreciative of all you guys out there. Thank you so much for subscribing to both our channels. We're live on not only my channel, The Nest Out West, but we're also live on Tone's channel, Chalk It Up Sports Philly. So make sure you're subscribed, you're locked in. Turn on that notification bell for both of us because we're always dropping content, putting videos, live streams out there, all kinds of stuff like that. And make sure, like I said, because we are double live this morning, make sure you hit that thumbs up on both channels. We really, really appreciate it. It helps us build and grow, helps more people get their eyes on our content and all that good stuff. But yes, we are now officially called Birds of a Feather Podcast. I love it. Birds of a Feather, the podcast.
Yeah, I like that. I like, because I was working on some things, and I was thinking to myself, like, okay, how are we going to do this? Are we going to call it the Birds of a Feather Podcast? Are we going to call it just Birds of a Feather Podcast? I'm like, no. There's something about Birds of a Feather, the podcast. There's something about that, right?
Yes, sir.
But man, I'm so happy we're doing this. It's game day. It's Sunday, NFL Sundays, man. Week 17. In years past, right? The season would end at this point. You feel me? Like this. I'll be honest with you. I'm loving the 17-game season. The more football, the better. But even beyond that, it's just been extremely competitive all the way around. Like no matter who takes who, no matter who's on that field, it's just been supremely competitive. And like I've honestly just been enjoying this season.
Yeah, no, I have too for the most part. COVID's actually, obviously taken its toll and affected certain things. I know a lot of people are pissed off about, being screwed out of fantasy because of COVID and whatnot. But you got to kind of take life as it comes. And I still am very thoroughly enjoying this season because, we started off, it didn't look too great at all. We were 2-5. And now look at us. We got a chance to, like the title says down below, possibly punch our ticket this weekend if we win and get some help. But I mean, we turn things. We got a possibility to go 2 games over 500 and get to 9-7 on the season. That's an accomplishment in itself, especially for a first-year coach, first-year offensive coordinator, first-year defensive coordinator, a young quarterback, a young core. It's we really have something to tip our hat to this season. It looks like we got a good chance of making the playoffs. Unless things just implode, but I don't see that happening. I'm feeling pretty confident about the game today.
Yeah, I've been feeling good all weekend about this game, all week really, and I was watching the unscripted series on YouTube on the Eagles YouTube channel.
Yeah,
and Jason Kelsey, he has a speech that he delivered to the team, I guess when they were going through their walkthroughs or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And he said something that really resonated with me, man. He said, like, it almost brought tears to my eyes. He said, when we're on our A game, when we're doing our thing, can't nobody fuck with us. Straight like that. When he said that,
I love it.
It did something to my spirit. It did something to my psyche, bro.
Mhm.
When we're at our best, nobody can fuck with us. When we doing our thing, when we pounding the rock, when we on our grind, nobody can rock with us. Nobody can mess with us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like I believe that.
Yeah.
We've been talking like that all year, really. We've beaten ourselves in most of our matchups. There's some games that we were just outclassed, but for the most part, we've beaten ourselves. And that's the significant difference between our team and other teams. I feel like we have a problem. We have a habit of getting in our own way. And the moment we're able to get out of our own way and stay locked in, stay motivated, stay engaged, nobody can rock with us, Foothills. I firmly believe that, man.
No, and I haven't even seen that yet. I haven't seen that or heard that yet.
You got to watch it. Beautiful.
I definitely do. But just hearing you say it, and I could picture Kelsey saying it, gives me chills. It makes my hair stand up, and that's a feeling that I like a lot at this time of year, because that means my Eagles are playing very, very competitive football. And yeah, I love that. I love that mindset. I love that tenacity that he has. I love that just ferociousness when he's out there on the field. I mean, if you see Jason Kelce coming your way and he's pulling around that end, I'm sure there's not a whole lot of guys out there that enjoy meeting him when he's pulling around the side there, making contact with him and plowing people over and things like that.
Big facts. I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, nobody can. I mean, especially like when we are running the ball at a high level. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of defenses out there that can. I mean, we've shown it. We've been at the top of the rushing game, and the whole, not just in the NFC, but the whole NFL for a good chunk of this season. More than half of it now, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, that confidence, that bravado, so to speak, is only going to resonate through the team, especially when that's your center saying that. I mean, usually you get that from your running back, or you get that from a veteran receiver, or maybe even your quarterback if he's a boisterous type.
Right.
But to get it from, I'm hoping that he really is still enjoying things at a high level, and he's really going to take a long time to make his decision about whether he's going to hang him up at the end of this year. And I hope he doesn't, because I would love to see Kelsey come back for another year. If not, I think he's got a couple good years left in him. He's still moving around very well. I mean, I know he's had his injuries and things like that, but man, I just hope that I hope he really takes a long time to process it and makes the right decision for himself and for his family first and foremost. But God, would I love to see him back on the field next year.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, Jason Kelce has cemented himself in the Eagles' lore. Super Bowl champion, multi-time All-Pro, Pro Bowler. The Iron Man, doesn't miss games at all.
Got the most Pro Bowl votes of not only all linemen, but everybody. He got the most Pro Bowl votes this year out of every single player in the NFL. Shout out to Jason Kelce.
For sure, man. And he talked about how when he came into the NFL, he was, he wasn't recruited out of high school. He came into Cincinnati as a walk-on. Went to Cincinnati because it was an in-state school, cheaper tuition.
Right.
Got drafted, but was still told he'll never make it. He was undersized. He'll never last in his NFL.
Right.
He was saying in 2000, I think he said 2016. So many people wrote him off. So many people, wanted to trade him, for a washing machine. You know what I'm saying? Like people weren't high on him.
Right.
And then he just started taking his game to another level. And the city believed in him. His teammates believed in him. And there's something to be said about that. Like, Rodney Macleod had a speech as well. He said, "Look, whether you was here last year or not, we lost twice to this team, and they don't respect us straight like that. And I'm real big on respect. They don't respect us in any way. In any way. And I don't know about y'all, but that ticks me the hell off. And as far as I know, I'm I'm willing to die about disrespect. I'm willing to lay it out on the line for disrespect. You feel what I'm saying? Like Rodney Macleod was really, well, we have so many amazing leaders on this team, and I'm so happy that we have guys like Jason Kelsey, Rodney Mccloud, who's been a steady presence in the locker room. Has always been fairly productive. No one's saying Rodney Macleod is a top 5, safety or whatever, but Rodney Macleod is an impact player in terms of what he does for this team and his presence alone.
It's the little things with Rodney Macleod. You go back and you look at the Super Bowl. He makes some game-saving, and I mean game-saving tackles. Facts. In that Super Bowl. That one where I think it was Brandon Cooks tried to leap over him, and he just stood him up, put him down, and then he shoestring tackled Gronkowski on one where Gronkowski, if he doesn't make that tackle, Gronk just walking in the end zone. So there's 2 touchdowns right there that he saved that I can remember off the top of my head that got us the hardware. You know what I mean? So with Rodney Macleod, yeah, like you said, he's not the flashy type. He's not going to be at the top of the stat sheet, and he's never going to be considered a top 5 safety in the NFL, like you said as well. But man, it's the little things that he does really, really well, and he continues to, like you say, play at a pretty high level.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Loving what I'm seeing at Rodney this year.
For sure, man. Like I mentioned, like this season has been so competitive, so entertaining. Might be the most entertaining for me since, the 2017-2018 season when we won our Super Bowl. And I'm not saying that this is a Super Bowl season in any way. I'm saying that this has been so entertaining. This season has just been storybook. We were written off. We weren't supposed to be where we are. We were not supposed to be competing for a playoff spot. And also, the expanded playoff seating has helped us. Let's make that very clear. But it is what it is. It's helping everybody. But overall, we are in control of our own destiny. We have the Washington football team today at 1:00 in Landover, Maryland, FedEx Field. Right. So here's the scenario. If we secure our playoff spot, if we win today, the Packers beat the Vikings and the 49ers beat the Texans. There are several other scenarios out there as well, like if New Orleans loses and so on and so forth. But, right now we're in control of our own destiny. And I feel like we honestly hold the upper hand against this Washington football team. I feel that their morale is low. They got blown out 2 weeks in a row. At this point, I would be totally surprised if they don't mail it in. But if I'm being completely honest with myself, I know it's going to be a hard-fought game because Ron Rivera, he's a sturdy coach in terms of what he brings to the table from a motivation perspective, his expectations, so on and so forth. He's going to have that team playing hard, and most of those guys need to understand if you're not playing hard, for the playoffs, at least play hard for your career because some guys may not be there next year. Some guys may get signed other places. It's not just about today. It's about auditioning. For other teams, and that goes the same for the Eagles as well. Guys got to come in, play their best football, and lay it out on the line. Guys can't pussyfoot out here.
Right. Yeah, and like you said, that's a great point, Tone, because some of these guys like to mail it in. This time of year when they're already out of the playoff picture and everything like that. But they need to remember that. If they're looking to move on, if they're looking to possibly get a contract extension with the same team that they're on, they got to keep working hard because you're guaranteed that a lot of these scouts in the NFL, these guys they're watching just as much now as they did earlier in the season when you're competing at, when everything's still wide open and everybody is still in the picture, because they want to see what guys really, really respect. Really want that respect, I should say. And they want to work hard until that final whistle blows in the season, no matter what. They want to be professionals out there and not just, like we said, start planning their vacations early, start booking up those golf courses and, those private beaches and things like that all around the world. So, it's important for these guys that are looking to continue their NFL career with the same team, with another team, to work hard until the very, very end, no matter what their situation is. And yeah, I tend to agree with you. Yes, Washington is going to be missing a lot of key players today because of injury, because of COVID, but their backups are still going to play hard. And I mean, I'm pretty confident we're going to win, but Nor do I think that they're going to come out there and just lay down for us either.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, let's get into this injury report because, COVID, like you said, has ravaged the Washington football team. But for us, Miles Sanders, he's out with a broken hand, sustained that
Right.
injury last week. Sean Bradley is out with a bum shoulder. Craig James, the cornerback, is out. Andre Chachade, he's out. He's a safety. He's on the COVID list. And that's pretty much it for us. Jordan Howard is expected to play. So that's really that bodes well for our chances in our running game. I have no doubt that our running game can sustain what we've been doing. I love that combination between Jordan Howard and Boston Scott. They did amazing work against the Detroit Lions. Did great work against the Chargers. Who else did great work against the Denver Broncos? You know what I'm saying? So I have high expectations for Jordan Howard and Boston Scott. The giant killer and the ground and pound machine and Jordan Howard. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on our running game? Thus far, Jordan Howard, what he brings to the table. That combination with Boston Scott, even Kenny Gainwell, who's also going to be activated as well.
Yeah, I mean the obviously it's gonna hurt a little bit missing Miles, but I too am confident in Jordan Howard. I think he's going to be, he's definitely not going to be 100%, but I think he's going to be good enough to, give us a decent amount of snaps today, along with, like you said, Boston Scott, and then sprinkle in some Kenny Gainwell, and then I think we should be fine. The offensive line has been protecting very, very well, opening up holes very, very well for the run game, and when it really does matter, that I think we're going to be able to run the ball, control the clock, and all that good stuff. But the fact that Jalen Hurts is he's still working his way back from injury, so they're going to probably try to limit the amount that he's running as well today. So I just hope that that the Jordan Howard thing doesn't linger, and then he's able to just move forward.
No, I agree with you. That combination. Like I said, Kenny Gainwell, Jordan Howard, Boston Scott, they did a good job holding it down while Miles Sanders was hurt in the first place. I remember Miles Sanders got hurt in that Las Vegas Raiders game. I think he tweaked his ankle. And Jordan Howard and Boston Scott, they came in and they were just supremely effective. So I expect no less. This is another big game for Jalen Hurts as well. The expectations, to continue to grow for Jalen Hurts. The stage continues to get bigger. The lights continue to get brighter. This has to be a game where he lets it come to him, can't force anything, no turnovers. Jalen Hurts has to lead this team, and he has to lead by example. And when he's on, everyone else is on. But when the running game is on, it makes it that much easier for him to get into the swing of things. It opens things up. What are your expectations for Jalen Hurts today? Because, again, another big game for him. Like I said, the stage continues to get bigger and the lights continue to get brighter.
Yeah, I have some pretty high expectations for him today. I think he's gonna realize what the team has in front of them, and like you said earlier, we control our own destiny. So all we have to do is really go out there, take care of business. I really want to see him. If he gets flushed out of the pocket, things like that, he's got to have that rear view mirror, kind of aspect. He's got to have that, feel those footsteps behind him and tuck away that ball. That's one thing I really want to see an improvement for the whole team this week, and that's ball security. And I know Miles Sanders isn't playing. And I know even if he does come back for the playoffs, that's going to be an issue going forward because teams are going to be going after that hand. They are. They're going to be punching after it even more than they did before if Miles comes back. But that's something that I want for us to clean up today, and that's that ball being on the turf because it's been on the turf way too much his last couple of games that I can remember.
You're right.
Between Hurts fumbling, between Miles Sanders, fumbling, maybe not fumbling, but it's very close at
Very
times.
close. I completely get it. You're right.
Yeah, I want to see them get up with the football. I don't want to see that football on the ground at all.
No, I agree with you. Here's the interesting thing about this game, right? I mentioned the injury report before. Montez Sweat, the one who forced the fumble against Jalen Hurts last time we played, he's
Yeah.
not expected to play. He's questionable, but he's not expected to play with something personal going on in his life. So I'm not
Okay.
sure. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but that may bode well for us. On top of that, the starting running back Antonio Gibson, he's going to be out with a hip. He's also on the reserve COVID list as well. They're going to be without,
I think
linebacker.
McKinsick is out too. I think isn't he? Isn't he still out? I know he was on the. I think he was either injured or on the COVID list. I seen him. JD McKissick. He's on the list too.
I think JD McKissick. Yeah, he's on IR, I believe.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So they're very thin at running back. Their quarterback situation's been a carousel lately because of COVID, because of injuries, and I mean, obviously, they still have Scary Terry, but I mean, who's going to throw him the ball?
And they're also missing Curtis Samuel as well.
Yeah, there's another loss for them, And people are saying, oh, well, you guys haven't beat anybody with a winning record this year, things like that. Yeah, and that's true, but COVID has taken its toll on a lot of teams. It's been rough for a lot of people, and we can only really play who they put on our schedule. I know that's kind of a cliche. We say that a lot, but
no, but it's the truth. For Hills, like that bothers me. Like it's at the end of the day, you have to play who you play. You don't make the schedule. All you have to do is show up. And you can say all you want. Oh yeah, you guys didn't beat anybody. Okay, and what? They get paid too. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone has that section of the schedule where it's pretty sweet. Ours just happened to be at the end, and we also just happen to be in a pretty weak division. When you think about it from the Giants and Washington football team perspective, because I think it's so funny how people like to call us the NFC least, but every year we tend to always have a team in the playoffs. So
yeah.
And on top of that, there's a chance we're going to have two teams in the playoffs.
And not only that, but we're now the only division with everybody has a ring. No other division out there can say that. So how are we the NFC least? Give me a break.
That's what I'm saying. You're absolutely right. And I say it all the time. The NFC East moves the dial. The NFC East, we're clickbait. Whenever you see the NFC East being talked about on this mainstream media, they love to call us the NFC least because it's triggering. It forces people to watch and listen. But at the end of the day,
it's for the same reason why not only us but other people in the division continue to get disrespected. Players. Miles Sanders got it in the offseason. Jalen Hurts got it in the offseason. There's multiple players who continue to get slapped in the face because of the team that they play for and the fan base that they have, because we're a rabid fan base. You guys know that. We bleed green. Even way out here in California, we bleed green. You see it behind me. It's a way of life. It's even in the offseason, we're talking about this stuff. It's always in our blood. We're always thinking about it.
Absolutely, man. And I always commend you, my brother, for holding it down in the West Coast, because you got Chargers fans out there, you got Raiders fans out there, you got Rams fans out there.
Niners, the bang gang. I'm so tired of hearing that. Get the hell out of here with that,
bro. The Niners have been a disappointment in my opinion. But then I'm pretty sure you might run into that Seahawk fan, because they're on the West Coast as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, believe me, there is lots and lots of Cowboys fans, Steelers fans. There's a good mixture in California, but I mean, God, it seems like every time I meet a new person, like a new job or something, they're a Cowboys fan. It never fails. It never fails.
Front runners, man. Front runners, just like their organization, front runners.
Oh yeah.
It is what it is. But we mentioned Jalen Hurts prior, and he has to have a big game. He has to have a solid game, a respectable game. Can't turn the ball over. I've been pretty pleased with his development thus far. He's shown a lot more presence in the pocket. He's starting to deliver that ball with a little bit more zip. The accuracy is improving. You know, are you pleased with Jalen Hurts' development at this point? Because, you know, again, all things considered, you know, he was a second round pick. You know, two different head coaches, two different offensive systems he has to learn. First year starting. You know, when you think about all those things, you know, are you pleased with his development thus far?
I would say for the most part, yes, I am. There is still some things he needs to work on. He's got to build on that pocket presence, that pocket calmness, not necessarily when he feels that pressure to get out and scramble. There's sometimes where he can maybe just step up, slide up in the pocket a little bit, and let it give his receivers extra time to get open with their routes and things like that. He needs to see the field better in totality. He needs to get better with reading defenses pre-snap, things like that, and post-snap. But these are all things that I personally feel that he's going to get better at as time goes on,
Agreed.
as he gets more comfortable with this offense, with the play calling, with the coaching, with the other players around him, and things like that. So yeah, I am very, very excited for the future of Jalen Hurts, because I think we may have something very, very special, because he's a dual threat. And if that arm, the vision gets better as far as seeing the field, and that's something that's going to come with time. Tone, even the great one right now, Pat Mahomes, he said it took him a couple years to be able to read defenses
Yeah, he
like
said he
that.
just started actually
Yeah.
really understand, like, just this year. That's why they struggled
Yes.
so bad early in the season. He said, you know, he was so used to big plays and, you know, his guys making it happen deep down deep. You know, this is one of the first years he's actually had to, you know, really trust the playbook and trust his players. And, you know, I don't want to say dink and dunk, but I like to call it death by a thousand cuts. You know,
Yeah.
you know, first down them to death. You know, boom, a
Yep.
5 yard pass here, boom, a 10 yard pass here, boom, a 7 yard pass there, boom, 20 yard
Right.
pass. You know, then
Like
a
Tua's
15
doing
yard
in
pass.
Miami. You
Yeah,
know, a death by a thousand razors, like you said. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. That's what it
Sure,
is.
man. You know, but BLSG came out with some breaking news. He said Jordan Howard is active for Philly, while Curtis Samuel, Montez Sweat have been ruled out officially. All right,
LFG.
thank you,
LFG.
BLSG.
BLSG.
My man, appreciate that update, man. Like we always tell you
Yes.
guys, you know,
Thank you,
make sure you
youngster.
smash that like button. We are live on 2 channels, the Nest Out West and also Chalk It Up Sports Philly. Make sure you guys smash those like buttons, but also you guys are a part of this show. You guys are a part of the team. You guys are a part of the podcast. So
Food and water.
without you guys, we can't move forward. You
That's
understand?
right.
So the more you guys support, the more you guys engage, the more you guys hold us down, hold us accountable, challenge our thoughts, you know, add to the show. You know, this podcast can only get better. And this is episode 1 of Birds of a Feather, the podcast with my man, Philly Foothills, and myself, Tone DeShields II. So make sure you guys continue to like the show, subscribe to both our channels, share the content, comment. Even if you're watching this after the fact, you know, we love you guys as well. At the end of the day, continue to lock in with us. And, you know, more content is definitely to come.
Yeah, and we
So,
still get. And even if you watch the live stream later when it's not actually live, you could comment still, and we'll still see them, and we'll still respond to them. So yeah, we like you said, you guys are the food and the water. So continue to do your thing. We really appreciate it.
for sure, man. And you mentioned Hurts' chemistry with the guys around him, the team, most notably his skill position guys like the wide
Yeah,
receivers, tight ends, and the running
right.
backs, right? You know, I'm going to be keeping my eye on Dallas Goddard today because yes, he got paid, and yes, he's had big games since then, but he's had these moments or these momentary lapses of concentration.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do that when you're the multi-million-dollar man. You can't do that when you're the highest paid weapon on offense. You
No,
can't you can't
got to
drop
be
the gimme.
consistent.
Exactly. You can't
Yeah.
drop the gimmies. And I personally felt it was important for him to go back to the basics, go back to that, go back to that jugs machine. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Keep those hands warm. You
Yeah.
know, secure the ball before you think about doing anything after that. You know, and that's what, you know, it's like a gift and a curse. When you're so talented, when you're so athletic, when you know you can break one for 15, 20 plus yards at will, you know, you tend to just trust your hand. You tend to just um I guess move without thinking, or you tend to I guess skip steps in the process. And there are moments where Dallas Goddard has skipped steps in the process. The ball comes to you, you got to secure it, know where you are, and take off.
Right.
He's skipped the secure part. You know what I mean?
Yeah. In times, it's just to me, it seems like it's really a lot of mental concentration. Because that one fluky interception that bounced off his leg against the football team the last time we played them. That was just weird because you could see his eyes. He looked it into his hands. He didn't look up the field too quickly. I don't know what it was. It was just one of those ones where, it just hit a dead spot in his hand or something. And it just, he didn't, I don't know if it was it was a brain fart as some people like to say. And his hands didn't react to feeling the ball hit his hands or what it was, but that was just a stone cold drop. And those type of interceptions like that, when it's obviously that it was on the receiver, the person who's catching the ball, whether it's a tight end, wide receiver, running back, it doesn't really matter. I think those should be put on the player themselves, not on the quarterback, because those skew the numbers. People definitely look at that and they're like, oh, well, Jalen Hurts had an interception. Well, no, he really, really didn't, because if you watch the film, that was not on him at all. That was right in his hands. If Goddard catches that, he's probably got a 40 or 50-yard gain ahead of him. He had nothing but green field in his sights. So, yeah, he's just got to, like you said, go back to the basics, make sure that the instinct is there. That split second instinctual things where you got to make sure you secure the ball before you go upfield and things like that. And yeah, we can't have a guy making as much money as he's making now. We can't have people saying on one play, why is he making that much money? And then on another play, that's why he's making that much money. No, we can't have that. We got to have the consistency. He's got to be more consistent. And that's something that Goddard definitely has to work on, because we've seen it. He's got all the intangibles. This kid can run after the catch. He can make the difficult catch when he needs to. He's strong. He can block like some of the best tight ends out there. So he's got it. He's got it all in the bag. He's just got to be able to really clean some things up and just, make sure that, like you said, the fundamentals are there, and that he knows that he's got to be the guy going forward, and he's got to be more consistent on a long-term basis.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's it's the uncharacteristic things, and that's the sad part about it. It's uncharacteristic for him to do certain things like drop the ball. But he's having a career year. Whether you want to accept it or realize it or not. Right now on a year he has 50 catches on 69 targets, 759 yards receiving, averaging just over 15 yards a catch, 4 touchdowns. Longest catch of the season was 45 yards, 14 big plays, which is pretty much any plays 20 plus yards or more down the field. He obviously he can take that to another level. Has almost 400, has 371 yards as far as yards after the catch. We know he can take his game to another level. That's without a doubt. And I'm expecting him to eventually get to that Travis Kelce, George Kittle level. That's my expectation, because in my humble opinion, he has all the measurables to be an elite tight end in this game. He's 6'5", 256 pounds. He's only 26.
Right.
And we found him in the second round. And like I said, career year, his first season, 334 yards receiving. His second season, 607 yards receiving. His 2020 season, 524 yards receiving, but he only played 11 games because he got hurt. So we got to keep that in mind as well.
Right.
And this year he has 759 yards receiving. So he's trending in the right direction. To being a number one tight end, and those numbers are pretty much indicative of being a number 2 tight end. He's done his job pretty much throughout his career. He's had little injury issues. If we're being completely honest with ourselves, last season was his most injury riddled season. His rookie season played all 16 games. 2019 only missed 1 game. 2020. He played 11 games, missed 5.
Right.
And this season, he's only this season he's missed 2, and that is because of COVID and 1 because of the concussion.
Right.
So
That's correct.
he's doing all right to me, and he knows how to climb the ladder. He knows how to make the quarterback look good. We saw in that Washington game he mossed the safety when it easily could have been an interception, but Dallas Goddard just came in, did what Dallas Goddard does. He's an athletic guy, not afraid to get physical, not afraid to block. He's such an all around weapon. He's such an all around specimen on that field. So it's going to be important for him, like both of us said, for him to continue to develop and make the easy things look easy.
Yeah, and hopefully he doesn't have to bail out Hurts in situations like that too much, because that definitely was a risky throw. That's another thing that Jalen needs to work on is his decision making, and that's going forward. That's definitely something that can be coached. That's definitely something that can be worked on. But yeah, Dallas Goddard, I mean, he's the type of player that you could tell he works hard. He definitely does, and he loves this game. He loves being out there performing with his teammates and things like that. He's just like you said. He's got the potential to be one of the very top tight ends in this league. Whether he fully grasps that or not is still up to him. Because he has some things that he can iron out, some rough areas where he can definitely smooth it out as well. But for the most part, I mean, Dallas Goddard he's the prototypical tight end that you want, and it's just another great weapon at Jalen Hurts' disposal. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And Eagle Slayer brought up a good point. He said, I still trust Goddard more than any receiver we have other than Devontae Smith with the game on the line. Give me Goddard or Smitty. And I actually agree with him tremendously because, Devontae Smith has shown that he's capable of making big time catches and big time moments. We call him the
Slim Reaper.
Not just a Slim Reaper, but I'm going to start calling this kid the
Devontae toe tapper, right. What was it?
Devontae toe tapper, or like the toe tapping matador. Like he's just he's such a elegant receiver to watch.
Yeah, Smitty toe tippy or something like that.
Smitty toe taps.
There you go.
Oh man, but I mean, you have to agree. Like he's such a beautiful player to watch execute. The game plan. His ability to just not only maintain focus, catching the ball while someone's breathing down your neck, and still manage to get those toes in. Like last week, that toe tap was something to behold.
Oh yeah. It really was. It really was. I mean, both even his, even the were you talking about the one where he was falling down forward, like towards the beginning of the game on the sideline?
The touchdown one.
That was beautiful. Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful. He's it's like you said, it's a thing of beauty watching that out there. It's almost like watching a conductor, when he's when he's conducting the symphony. It's he's beyond his years. Is he talented? He really is. But I mean, really, when you think about it, Dallas Goddard should be our number one target when the game is on the line. He has the most experience. Devontae Smith, for as well as he's played, he's still a rookie. He's still getting through his rookie year. But Dallas Goddard has the experience. Yeah, this is his first, first season, part of the season as the starter. But he has the most experience, and I think, I totally agree with Eagle Slayer. He's number one, either 1A and Smith is 1B, or vice versa, because those are our most confident, consistent guys out there, and they're the ones that I trust the most to get it done when it matters most.
Big time. And the scary thing is, Devontae Smith is only going to get better. He's going to be a real problem once he begins to learn this NFL, the lay of the land, and start really picking up on the nuances of
Right.
the position. And
You haven't seen him get too many yak yards this year, but when he starts developing that, when it go along with high pointing the ball as well as he does, and like we said, being able to make those tough catches on the sideline, dragging his toes, just being a magician out there with the toe drags. I mean, he's making those refs work extra hard, because not only do they can only watch either the ball or his feet at one time. They can't watch both. And that's why a lot of these refs call it incomplete, because they're thinking there's no way he could have got his feet in. But hey, he caught the ball, he got his feet in. That's a catch. That's why I like that we have replay now, because unless we put more referees out there, they can only look at one spot at one time, and they miss a lot of stuff when that happens.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Devontae Smith, he's having a very good year as well. To be a rookie, played in all 15 games, has been fairly healthy. It's funny because people doubted whether he could last in this game because of his size. But
right, he's trying to break T-Jack's record this year. He's
right,
not too far off, if I'm mistaken. Yeah,
he could definitely do it. He has 58 catches on 94 targets. I would like that disparity to cut down a little bit. I would like him to secure more of those targets. But some of them were bad throws.
Jalen Hurts,
so on and so forth. He has had, not likely, but certain games he's had a drop or two. But outside of that, 58 catches on 94 targets, 821 receiving yards, averaging just over 14 yards a catch, 5 touchdowns on the season, 46. His longest catch of the season was 46 yards. Accumulated 39 first down catches. Only lost 1 fumble. So far, Devontae. And he has a 2-point conversion as well. So Devontae Smith has been as advertised, in my humble opinion, especially when you think about the way we play football as a team. I know they like to compare him to guys like Jamar Chase and Jalen Waddle. Him and Jalen Waddle are pretty much in the same boat when it comes to from a stat perspective. Jamar Chase, obviously he has surpassed expectations. A lot of people doubted him, especially in the preseason when he was having a lot of drops and everything like that. But Jalen Waddle, 96. Now, here's the thing about Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle has a lot of receptions. He has 96 receptions on 126 targets. He has significantly more targets than Devontae.
That's due to the type of quarterback that he has, the type of offense
exactly.
Run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I'm glad you said that, because he has 941 yards receiving, but he's averaging just below 10 yards a catch. He's averaging 9.8 yards per catch.
And that's a shame, because a guy like Jalen Waddle should be averaging way more than that per catch. With his speed, with his ability to take the top off the defense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the quarterback's arm strength is definitely holding him back stats wise.
Absolutely. And here's another thing as well. Jalen Waddle, this is crazy, but he only has 7 big plays on the season, which is 20 plus yard receiving play. He only has 7 of them on the season, where Devontae Smith, he has 14 big plays on the season. So Devontae Smith has been able to get a lot of boom, with his with his receptions. But Jalen Waddle, he has been the number 1 target. Rightfully so, being drafted that high. He has 5 touchdowns, just like Devontae. So I think they're having a pretty mirrored season. He does have him beat when it comes to yards after the catch, with 408 yards after the catch. But he's that guy that moves the chains for them. But regardless, though, Devontae Smith, he's our guy. Devontae Smith is playing amazing football, all things considered. When you think about the type of offense we have, we run the ball more than anything.
Yeah. Have you ever seen anything like that? The touchdown that you were talking about last week from Devontae, how they called it a catch, then they reversed it, they called it incomplete, then they went to the commercial break, and then they reversed it back. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. That was kind of crazy.
That was crazy. But here's the funny thing about it, though. If you watch closely, you see the turf pellets come up as he's dragging his feet, and you see the discoloration, you see the color you see the color transition from green to white,
Right.
meaning that his feet drag in. You see
Yeah.
it. So I really don't understand how they got that
They were
wrong the second.
questioning about the ball bobbling around, but
Yeah,
it never even touched the ground. That's the thing. So it was like, what are you guys even talking about? That was a cat. If you take that away from him and Jalen, that's something that would have been an absolute travesty. But I'm so glad that they got it right, because that was a beautiful, beautiful throw, absolutely beautiful catch, toe drag, feet drag, like you said, the green going into the white. I love how the high definition cameras can get that now, because that makes it undisputable right there.
Yeah, like bro, like it's one of those things that they always try to shortchange us somehow.
Oh yeah,
they love it. They love it,
do.
man. But it's all good though, because at the end of the day, this team thrives in this kind of environment. We thrive when people doubt us, and we thrive when people don't have high expectations or count us out. At the end of the day, Philadelphia, the city, blue collar. The fan base, blue collar. We work hard, we play hard, and we hold our organization and our team accountable.
Facts.
And when we see passive football, that's a problem for us.
We're gonna call it out. Yep.
Exactly. You think about the defensive side of the ball. Although the numbers are boding well for the defense, I still believe we're playing passively on defense. And I think that's because of Jonathan Gannon's philosophies. Like that begs the question: like, how aggressive will he be today? You're going up against Tyler Heineke, a quarterback who, in my opinion, is mediocre. He's not terrible. He's not great. He's serviceable, and he's a sparky guy. He's the kind of guy that can. The team likes playing for him, and he does.
He did beat Tampa Bay earlier this year. I know that's not saying as much. This year with Tampa Bay being kind of up and down, but.
Yeah, but everyone is, right? Every team has been, up and down and taking their lumps from, the lesser opponent.
Right. There's been a lot of parity this year in both conferences. Even in the AFC, it's not clear cut. Obviously a lot of people like the Chiefs, a lot of people like Tennessee. Some people even like the Colts because of their run game and their defense. But we'll see. It's not clear cut in either division. This thing's more wide open than I remember it being in a long, long time, and I'm excited.
You want to hear something crazy? There's in the AFC.
Yeah.
Right. Hear me out on this. It's gonna blow your mind. In the AFC, right? There's only one team that clinched the playoff spot, and that's the Chiefs.
Wow! In week 17, going into week 17, dang.
Yes, and in the NFC,
crazy. I didn't know that.
In the NFC, 5 teams have already clinched playoff spots. So that just goes to show you how complex, how competitive the season has been, not just for the NFC, but most importantly for the AFC. It's literally razor thin. And anything is possible at this point. Right now we're in that 7th spot right now, and we have to continue to hold our water, and we have to continue to just hope everything works out in our favor. We're in control of our destiny at the end of the day. But if we're going to continue to beat teams, and if we're going to even have a chance of running with the best of them, defense is going to have to step it up, in my opinion. I know the numbers bold. The numbers say that we're playing our best football as a defense, which I'm happy about. But I expect more from Jonathan Gannon. I expect more aggression. I expect to see more complex blitzes. That's my expectation. I feel like when we blitz the ball, sometimes we're a bit too vanilla. We need to dress it up.
Run some stunts or something like that up front with the defensive line. Make the other opposing offensive line, make them work hard, make them think, keep them on their toes. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you, Tone, because we got to see more consistent pass rush from the defensive end spot. Whether it's Sweat. I think is Barnett playing today? I know he was on the COVID list. Is Derek Barnett out? Do you know?
I think Derek Barnett is playing. I can double check. I can double check that. But
I know they did. We didn't really even touch on that. They changed the COVID protocol this past week, which they cut it down from whether you're vaccinated or not. They cut it down to 5 days so that you can get back on the field, and And that's even with that you only have to have two things basically, whether you're, like I said, and that's for vaccinated or unvaccinated players. And you could be asymptomatic or your symptoms can be lessening. That's how the NFL is now rolling with it. They're following the CDC right behind them. So, the players like Carson Wentz, he's going to play today for the Colts. He would have definitely been out catching COVID. He was on he definitely benefited. The team benefited from that rule change, and it's just very interesting to me how they're going to gauge whether a player's symptoms are lessening or not. I don't know. That to me, that seems like a very, very gray area.
Yeah, for sure. Also, by the way, Derek Barnett, he's active.
Okay. Thank you for checking
and also Ryan Kerrigan is active as well. But
Nice.
another thing we need to discuss also before we get to our keys to the game. Nick Sirianni, he can't be hard headed today. This can't be a game. This can't be a game where you try to throw the lead, to throw to set up the pass. You gotta. I'm sorry. This can't be a game where you pass to set up the run. You have to be disciplined. Know your team's strengths. Get your offensive line hot. Get your running backs hot. You know what I'm saying? Pound that rock. Wear them down early. So by the time second half come, they want to hang up the jersey and tuck away their mouth guard. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to remain disciplined. Start off running the ball strong. We can't afford slow starts like we did these past couple weeks because it's only going to get more complicated for us later down the line. We have to start off. We have to start off fast, start off hot, get the running game going, and wear down the opponent. And let's be honest, Jalen Hurts is at his best when we're running the ball or when we're leading, we're running. That opens things up for him. Sets him up. Giving him a lot of easy throws. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to throw that out there because Nick Sirianni, he has moments where he can revert back to week 2, week 3 and get hard headed. Because I know he wants to throw that ball, and I'm not mad about that. I understand. I completely get it, but it's important for you to know your team's strengths and let everything come to you because the Washington football team, they will show themselves. They will make mistakes. As talented as that team is, I believe they're undisciplined, and they're going to have moments where like we saw last week, they're fighting on the sideline, so on and so forth. They're a highly emotional team. Their ceiling is high, but they're radioactive. They're unstable, and I feel like we need to take advantage of that. And we do that by pounding the rock and knocking them square in their mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we control the ball, we control the game clock, control the time possession, all that good stuff. It's going to make it really, really hard for them. It really is because their defense has been, up and down definitely this year. Definitely more down as of late, but they don't put up a lot of points on the defensive side of the ball. So, yeah, if we control the ball, we run the ball. And I'm not saying we have to run the ball every damn play, but just be very cognizant of balance on offense. Making sure you're running it just as much as you are passing it, if not a little bit more. If you're going to run the ball every other play as opposed to pass the ball every other play, that's the way more of a offense that would fit this type of game today. I think, especially with these, like you said earlier, the NFC East battles, just like you saw last week in the first half, 3-3 at half with the stinking ass Giants. These games can be hard fought at times, and no matter what the other team is facing in regards to players that are not there, availability and things like that. So, it looks like I'm looking at the weather right now. It looks like the weather is going to be fairly decent in Landover today. So, that weather should not be a factor for the most part. So if, we go out there, we play our game, we take care of business, I think we should be able to handle this team. But we got to be able to get pressure on Heineke on a consistent basis, and that can't just be up the middle. I love the pressure we're getting up the middle from Hargrave and from Fletch lately, but we got to get more consistent pressure from the defensive end position.
I agree.
And as more and more this season has gone on, that's definitely going to be in the front of my mind come free agency, come the draft. We got to address the defensive end position. I think that's just something that needs to be boosted on this team. It definitely needs to be boosted because we have we have some decent talent in the secondary now. I know a lot of people don't like Nelson. I've definitely questioned his play at times as well this year going forward, but he's probably not going to be on this team next year. You know, we got Zach, we got Tay Gowan that's in the wing, laying back in the wings in the back. So, yeah, I mean, just more consistent from the defensive end position is definitely important today.
I agree with you. I agree with you. So let's, as we always do every Sunday, you know, let's get to our keys to victory. You know, what are your keys to victory for us today? How do we win? How do what has to happen for us to secure this W, my man?
Yeah, I would say just kind of like what I just touched on a minute ago. Balance on offense. Balance on offense, making sure that just because Miles Sanders is not in there and Jordan Howard may be a little dinged up going into this game, that we don't stray away from the run game too much. We don't put the decision of the game too much into Jalen Hurts' hands. You know, we don't put too much pressure on the young kid because we have to remember, you know, he's still growing, he's still building, and he's still learning. He's going to make his mistakes out there. So we got to, Nick Sirianni and company have to play it smart and just give, you know, I should say take what the defense gives you, run the ball, take care of the rock, and don't do anything too flashy. There's no reason to bring anything super flashy out of the playbook for this week. I think, you know, we just play some real basic football, and I think we're going to be fine. Yeah, so like my first key to victory definitely would be, you know, like I said, don't stray away from the run game too much. My second key to victory, I would say, is going to be getting pressure on Heineke, not letting him be too comfortable in that pocket. And whether that's continue to get the pressure up the middle or get some pressure get some production out of Josh Sweat and company at the defensive end spot. You know, Teron Jackson, he's been another one who has shown some good things at times. So, you know, maybe he gets some more playing time. Maybe even Milton Williams gets some more playing time at the defensive end spot as well, because he's been stepping his game up lately. So my second key to victory would be to get, you know, not let Heineke get comfortable in that pocket at all today. Not let him get any deep shots down the field to Scary Terry. My third key to victory is going to be win the turnover battle, because a lot like last week, I think the only way we lose today is if we beat ourselves. You know, that's the only way the football team is going to be in this game today, in my humble opinion, is if we lose the turnover battle. If Jalen gets sloppy with the football, if we fumble it, we have. Last week, I mean, hell, we almost turned it over on the opening kickoff. We got to be more secure with the damn ball. That is definitely going to be an important, for me today, an important factor for this game. So, yeah, really, like I said, I think the only way we lose today is if we beat ourselves. So my third key to victory is win the turnover battle. What do you got, Tone?
It's funny. Our keys to victory are pretty much identical, and it's crazy because we did not discuss this prior. You know, we
did not, guys. We really didn't.
Yeah, we normally like to keep each other on our toes and you know, like to surprise each other at times. So
yeah,
my keys to victory are very similar. Keys to victory: do not turn the ball over, run the ball effectively and efficiently, and number 3, force Tyler Heineke off his spots early and often. You know, we're at our best when we don't beat ourselves, obviously. You know,
anybody is really
exactly. Jason Kelsey straight up said, he said, "Listen, we're winning our game. Nobody can fuck with us." I believe that. You know what I'm saying? I believe that. That resonated with me. If you guys haven't already, make sure you watch that Philadelphia Eagles unscripted before the game. It'll get you fired up. Go to the Philadelphia Eagles YouTube channel, watch the unscripted. It's about 20 minutes long. It'll get you fired up for today. You know what I'm saying? It damn near brought tears in my eyes. That's how much I believe for this city and believe for this team. You know, but we have to maintain time of possession, and that's running the ball effectively and efficiently. And what I mean by efficiently, more importantly, is making sure we get 4 yards at minimum, you know, averaging 4 yards a carry. So we're always in the third and manageable, third and short situation. You know, when you're when you're 3rd and 5 and less, or 3rd and 4 and less, the playbook is extremely open for you to do whatever you want to do. So it's important for us to try to get ourselves in those 3rd and short, 3rd and moderate situations. And forcing Tyler Heineke off his spots, and that comes with Jonathan Gannon, dialing up some more complex blitzes and so on and so forth. We need Tyler Heineke to not be comfortable in his pocket. I want to see him running for his life. I want to see him throwing up that back foot, and that comes with the defensive line bringing pressure, like you said. So, let's transition. Oh, and real quick, let me answer my man question. Nate Blade, 22. My favorite Eagle of all time is Brian Dawkins. That's my favorite Eagle of all time. That's my man right there. But let's transition to our bold predictions, as we always do. What are your 3 bold predictions for this game?
3. All right, let's go bold predictions. I'm gonna say, let's see, my first bold prediction is going to be that Dallas Goddard he's going to have over 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns today.
Okay. Interesting. It's funny. It's funny. Like literally, like we're here with it.
One of them, I think they're going to do they're going to run a play similar to they run in Kansas City sometimes with Kels at the tight end position. Little shovel pass, exactly. How'd you know I was going to say that? My hand motion, was that what it was?
Trust me, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Shovel pass to Dallas Goddard up the middle.
He gets a lot of touchdowns off of those plays.
Yep. We get close to the goal line. Maybe maybe it's second or third and goal from like the 5 or something like that. Don't be surprised if you see a play call like that today.
For sure. One of my bold predictions is, I'm just going to, say, because this is one of them that's damn near spot on with yours. I said Dallas Goddard goes off for over 120 yards and 1 touchdown.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah. What's your second bold prediction?
My second bold prediction is that the defensive line in totality, so whether it's a defensive tackle or defensive end, they are going to have a combined 5 sacks today. My second bold prediction. Okay. That's kind of bold because our defensive line hasn't been stacking up, numbers like that recently. So
we get pressures, we get quarterback hits, but we don't get home.
Exactly.
But I feel you on that. Mine is kind of similar to that, but I'm focusing on more on one guy because I need to see more from him. And his name is Josh Sweat. I'm saying Josh Sweat records 2. I'm saying Josh Sweat records 2 sacks and forces a fumble on one of those sacks.
Oh, I like it. I like that one, Tone.
That's what
I like that one, Tone, a lot. Because we definitely need to see more of that from him, and that would be a thing of beauty. A thing of beauty going into week 18 into the playoffs, hopefully. Yeah, I'd love to see that from Sweaty, definitely.
And what's your final bold prediction?
All right, my final bold prediction. I'm going to go with the same one I did last week because it halfway worked. I'm going to say that Rodney Macleod has a pick 6 this week against either Heineke or whoever the hell they decide to run out there at quarterback. Oh. So let's effing go, whether it's Gilbert Gray.
Foothills. Are you psychic, bro? Like, bro, see this is why we're birds of a feather, man, because we're up here with it. Bro, my third bold prediction is Ronnie Mccloud catches an interception in back-to-back weeks.
Oh, let's go.
That's crazy, bro.
Go. Hell yeah.
That's crazy.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, bro, that's crazy. Like that's crazy. Like, see, like, and
we did not even talk about each other's notes at all or anything pre-show. We really didn't. I swear to Christ.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly, bro. Like, you ain't never lied about that. Let's before we get out of here, let's get our score predictions out the way. What's your score prediction for this game?
I think that it's going to be kind of. I mean, it's hopefully it's not going to be as low scoring as of a first half as last week, but I kind of have a feeling that it's going to be closer in the first half, but then we pull away again in the second half like we did last week. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say we're going to hold them under 2 touchdowns. I'm going to say we're going to reverse the score on them. I'm going to say we win 31-13. Eagles win 31-13.
I like that. I like that. I'm of the mindset of it's going to be, it's a division game. I think it's going to be chippy at first, and then we're going to pull away, like you said, third quarter
Yeah.
going into fourth quarter. My score prediction is Eagles 27, Washington 17.
Okay.
Their starting quarterback is in. I'm expecting them to be a little bit more efficient in the passing game. But they are without their star running back, so that's interesting as well. So that
Yeah.
changes things. But
That's going to be tough.
my score prediction for this game is Eagles 27, Washington football team 17.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Like
it.
But
we can get that dub.
Absolutely, my man. Absolutely. But as you already know, my man, this is always magnifique. This is always a pleasure to do this content with you, my man. Like birds of a feather definitely flock together. Make sure you guys continue to stay tuned to more future episodes of Birds of a Feather. And you never know. You might get more than just one a week. You might get two a week. You never know. Things are going to get real interesting, especially as playoff time, gets closer. And things are just going to start to get more and more competitive. So
yes.
Philly Foothills, my man, aka Fuego. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Final thoughts, just you guys, Happy New Year, very much so to everybody out there. Thank you so much for the continued support. I wish you guys great success in 2022, and I look forward to continuing this thing with my guy here, Tone. Like he said, Birds of a Feather, the podcast may grow into more than just a pregame show. You never know. So definitely keep locked in. Make sure that you are liked and subscribed to both of our channels. Philly Foothills out here, the Nest out west. Always keeping it fuego. Always 24/7, 365. Always bleeding green. I love working with my guy here. Yes, happy birthday, Tone. Definitely. Didn't you say your birthday was on Friday? So
yeah, my birthday was December 31st, New Year's Eve. I turned 27, man. So
New Year's Eve, baby.
I'm blessed. I'm so glad to be here for another year.
A good night, man. New Year's Eve is your birthday too. That's awesome, man.
I'm finally getting back to normal. Oh my God!
Process is getting there. That's good. That's good.
Saturday was a pure recovery day for me, man.
Hydrated. Exactly. Stay hydrated, my dude.
Exactly, man. But like Phil has said, Happy New Year to you guys. This is the first podcast of the new year. We're just so grateful for you guys. This couldn't have come at a better time. Things are starting to look up for the Philadelphia Eagles. We're trending in the right direction. We're going to have plenty of cap space next year, plenty of draft picks. The team is talented in different spots. We're just doing very well for all things considered. And I couldn't be happier doing this content with my man Foothills. I couldn't be happier. Talking to you guys, doing this content. You guys truly are. You guys truly are family. You guys are amazing. Some of the smartest football fans I've ever had the pleasure of communicating with. You guys are a part of the show, and you guys make this show what it is. And I guess we'll just leave it at that, my man. Like the love is always felt. So close us out, Foothills, and I'll follow up.
Yes, sir. Yeah, like I always say, and birds of a feather do. We fly together, we die together. Eagles fans for life. We, stay mean, stay green. Thanks for viewing us on your screen.
Yes, sir.
But most importantly, like I always say, keep it fuego.
Yes,
and let's go Birds. Let's get the dub today.
And I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports Philly, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Make sure you guys smash the like buttons. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys keep up with everything we do on Twitter and YouTube and everything surrounding that, you guys. Like I said, you guys were locked into the Birds of a Feather the podcast, episode 1. And we are out of here.